This is an ICU in crisis, overwhelmed by patients, hospital staff exhausted, but still fighting for every life.
I put 8 patients on mechanical ventilators overnight.
Tonight, The National gives you a first-hand look at the emergency unfolding in Canadian hospitals and how governments are racing to contain the COVID-19 variants that have pushed healthcare systems to the brink. I'm Adrienne Arsenault. Andrew is away.
This is not what many of you want to hear.
Ontario suddenly pivots, closing all schools, frustrating parents.
Our government failed us.
While a new curfew in Quebec sparks riots and leaves small business owners to pick up the pieces. Ottawa unveils a multi-billion-dollar deal to help Air Canada survive the pandemic. Good news for passengers waiting for a refund. And we're in northern Iraq with the survivors of a genocide.
I feel if I am Yazidi, I am nothing.
Shattered lives that fear being forgotten in the ruins. This is The National. It is clear by now that the third wave of this pandemic is more intense in almost every way. We are seeing it in our hospitals, strained under the pressure on our streets, and in government decision-making. Canada's 7-day average of new COVID-19 cases is shooting straight up. It is now almost on par with the height of the second wave. And with more dangerous virus variants driving the spread, fear is ramping up too. Governments are pivoting to try to gain control, and that is building frustration. In Ontario today, one such pivot with a record number of COVID patients in ICUs and new daily cases now well over 4,000. The province announced all schools will be closed to in-person learning after this week's break. Magda Gebrselassie now with how parents are reacting.
Just one day into spring break, word that students in Ontario won't be back in class for a while.
No one wants our kids in school more than I do. That's where they belong. But with COVID spreading like wildfire, with these deadly variants taking hold in Ontario, we simply can't be too cautious.
COVID cases are surging in the province. Today, for a second straight day, more than 4,400 new cases were reported. Just yesterday, the education minister assured parents in a letter that the priority was keeping schools open. Today, the government said it was too risky to bring students back after a week off in the community.
We'll communicate to parents based on the advice we received from the Chief Medical Officer of Health to reopen our schools. That is our intent. It just has to be safe.
Our government failed us. Like this, we should not be in this position 1 year later. They knew the third wave was coming.
Parents in 3 regions, including Toronto, already had to keep their kids home last week. Now people across the province are scrambling.
It's scary. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to my job, if I'm going to get a paycheck.
For the safety of everyone, the kids, the teachers, the administrators, it just makes the most amount of sense.
It's a crisis that could have been avoided if the government didn't rely on half measures, says this doctor.
There was, interest with big box stores, with allowing community spread to take place, not ensuring paid sick leave was there, seeing this continue to spread into homes and families and into schools and back out.
And with the current stay-at-home order in place, this doctor is calling on everyone to step up.
We have to just now do our part and not fail our children and do everything we can to drive down community transmission so that schools really can be the first doors to open.
So Magda, what about vaccines? It can get confusing, and where are teachers on the priority list?
Well, in some parts, including hotspots, they've actually already started booking educators for appointments. And we know that staff that work with special needs students, they're eligible to across the province. But just today, we heard of some canceled appointments in York region. So it will be interesting to see whether the supply of vaccine will be moving fast enough to get most teachers vaccinated before schools reopen, Adrienne.
All right, understandable anxiety there. Magda, thank you.
You're welcome.
In Quebec, anger over an earlier curfew time has again pushed protesters into the streets tonight after storefronts were smashed in a large protest last night. Allison Northcott is in downtown Montreal. So, Allison, walk us through what you're seeing there.
Well, it was like a game of cat and mouse between police and protesters through the streets of downtown Montreal tonight. Rather than just one large group of protesters, there were several pockets of young people running or roaming through the streets of downtown. We heard fireworks going off. We saw a smoke grenade as well. At times, police would chase the protesters, sometimes stopping them to question them. Some were ticketed as well. This is the second night of protests after last night things turned chaotic.
This is the one that went through the hole over here.
The smashed front window of Daniel Loureiro's restaurant, the aftermath of last night's chaos.
I'm really mad. I'm like, I don't need this. It's a layer on top of everything that we have right now. It's just another one.
Hundreds of demonstrators gathered in Montreal's Old Port, protesting the province's curfew. It's been in place since January, but the government recently moved it back to an earlier time, 8 p.m. in Montreal and Laval. Just because there's a virus, it doesn't mean everyone should have to stop living, he says. It began peacefully but turned to vandalism and destruction, with fires set and several businesses damaged.
I get the frustration. It's obviously been taken out in the wrong direction.
Montreal police say they made 7 arrests and handed out more than 100 tickets. The city's mayor walked through the area today.
If they're not happy about Quebec's measure to attack businesses, it's not the key. It's hurting them more. It's hurting us more.
One group that helped promote the protest distanced itself from the act of vandalism in a statement saying the majority of protesters were peaceful.
Tons of young people not wearing masks, very contagious strain.
This critical care doctor fears the protests will cause the virus to spread even more.
What I see is people making choices, voicing those choices, but the way they act is having a profound impact on what's going to be the next few weeks.
While many are frustrated with changing rules and ongoing restrictions, this behavioral scientist says most are still respecting them.
What we saw last night, I think, is certainly frustration. I don't think it's how the majority of Montrealers would choose to express it.
The province's public security minister is urging people to be patient, to keep following the rules as vaccines are doled out.
One protester I spoke with this evening said that he was here to speak out against the public health measures. He feels that they are too restrictive, that they are unfair for him, particularly as a young person. He says he feels that he's missing out on his youth. But he said he also worries that the message could get lost by some of the vandalism that was seen last night. Quebec's public security minister said people do have the right to protest, but that they do need to follow the rules.
All right, Allison Northcott in Montreal tonight. Thank you, Allison. Hundreds rallied in front of the Alberta legislature today to protest COVID-19 restrictions. The crowd gathered largely unmasked and heard from speakers calling for an end to restrictions that were reintroduced last week. Under the new rules, indoor dining and gyms are closed, stores are operating at a reduced capacity. Premier Jason Kenney said today it would be irresponsible to reduce restrictions as cases in the province rise at a, quote, alarming rate. Now, those rising cases are filling hospitals. Today, another 201 COVID patients were admitted. Across Canada, that figure has been rising steadily. Compared to a month ago, there are now 1,300 more Canadians in hospital. In intensive care, the pressure is mounting even faster, almost double the count from a month ago. Katie Nicholson shows us the pain this is causing in Ontario.
Billy Kudla has 7 small bone fragments floating around his knee.
This month so far I've fallen 10 times.
He was slated for surgery this month. Now that's likely off the table, but he understands why.
I just can't imagine being an ICU nurse right now because nurses bear the brunt of the care of the patients and they're dealing with death on a daily basis.
Tonight, more than 600 people in Ontario are in the ICU with COVID-19, more than 400 on ventilators, stretching staffing to its limits.
One of the biggest challenges we've had, and many hospitals in the GTA and Ontario are having enough nurses.
A growing challenge, especially as Ontario plans to add 350 more critical care spaces by week's end.
We are looking at a number of ways that we will be able to increase the number of health human resources in our intensive care units.
That includes moving people around within the healthcare system, leaning on student nurses, possibly even importing help from other provinces. But it's not that easy.
Just because you're licensed to work in one province doesn't mean you're licensed to work in another.
True, but both bodies that regulate nurses and doctors say they've been expediting paperwork to support the healthcare system for the last year. Another possibility, retired nurses. In the first wave, 700 stepped up to help, but were not needed. This time, they are. But their association head says they haven't been asked.
People are underestimating the seriousness of the situation, and so is the province.
There is another emergency option. The province can ask the federal government and the military for help. National Defence says there haven't been any such requests from the province, but its members stand ready to offer assistance. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
Air Canada is getting a financial lifeline from the federal government tonight, nearly $6 billion in support to help survive the pandemic. But as Hannah Thibodeau tells us, the agreement comes with conditions which might mean good news for customers waiting for refunds.
It's a battered industry, and its biggest player is getting financial help.
This is a good and fair deal for Canada and Canadians.
Air Canada will get access to more than $5 billion in repayable loans, and the government will buy a share in the airline worth another $500 million.
This support comes with strict conditions to protect Canadian travelers, Canadians' tax dollars, and Air Canada's workers.
In return, Air Canada will have to restore regional routes no later than June 1st, protect jobs, and limit executive compensations. But the big thing for many Canadians, customer refunds for flights canceled because of the pandemic. The process starting no later than April 30th.
I am just so happy and so excited. I can't even believe it. I'm floored, and I just overcome.
With 2 unused Air Canada tickets to Jamaica, Kathleen Fisher thought she'd never get her money back.
$2,000, but it wasn't so much about the money. It was more about being in a pandemic like this. We could have used the money back to pay bills.
Until Air Canada pays back the loans, taxpayers will temporarily pay for these refunds.
So to tell them they have to pay this huge bill all on their own right now might potentially be crippling. It's unfortunate, but I don't really see any other way around this than for the government to provide a backstop. Our understanding is that these are loans and not grants. We do hope that they'll be repaid one day to the taxpayer.
Talks with other airlines are ongoing, but industry insiders say the toughest negotiation was with Air Canada. Now there's a template in place, and they expect to see similar deals with other carriers in the near future. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
Porter Airlines is once again pushing back its tentative restart date. It now hopes to be back in the air in just over 2 months. Porter was previously aiming for May, but the airline now says it hopes to resume flights on June 21st. The Toronto-based airline offers short-haul flights across Canada and the U.S. It hasn't flown since March of 2020. The wait for a vaccine in Whistler, BC just got a lot shorter. The popular ski resort is the target of a new mass vaccination program, which is why any adult over the age of 18 there can now get a shot. Greg Rasmussen was there today as the clinics opened.
First in line and eager to get the vaccine.
Everybody I've talked to is very excited and stoked that this is happening in Whistler.
Whistler has been a COVID hotspot, so the province is now vaccinating everyone over 18 years of age in the community of 10,000 people. Tight living conditions for workers were blamed for fueling the spread of the virus.
All the frontline staffers are mountain, restaurants, retail. They're all living 4, 5, 6, 8 to one building.
That's been the primary weakness or Achilles heel for us, is the amount of congregate housing that we have, and that's where we've seen the virus move the most, and I think that's really why we find ourselves here.
Whistler has also been criticized for staying open through much of the ski season, a magnet for out-of-towners, despite the BC government asking but not ordering people to stay away. But at the end of March, the province did order the mountain to close after one of the world's biggest outbreaks of the P1 variant outside of Brazil.
So we know that that has had a significant impact on the community there, and that has also now translated out of the community into other parts of the Lower Mainland and BC.
Family physician Dr. Barinder Narang wants this strategy deployed in other parts of BC as well, particularly in racialized communities that have been hit hardest.
But we also know that there's still a raging fire in certain communities, other communities, that we need to make sure we're putting out as well.
Relief is already being felt in Whistler today.
It's hard not to get emotional. The nurses too, you can't help it.
And we're going in the right direction and looking forward to getting the second dose in another, 4 months. Bye, thanks.
One of thousands hoping this crash program will restore Whistler's reputation as a place to escape rather than to worry. Greg Rasmussen, CBC News, Whistler, BC.
In the U.S. tonight, more than 2 million people in Minnesota are under curfew after the latest fatal police shooting of a young black man sparked a new wave of anger. All of this is happening not far from the murder trial of the former Minneapolis police officer charged in George Floyd's death. Susan Ormiston has more, and we warn what you're about to see may be disturbing.
Police had stopped Dante Wright for expired plates and then discovered the 20-year-old had an outstanding warrant. The attempted arrest went horribly wrong. But instead of tasing, Officer Kim Potter pulled her gun. The police chief today called it an accidental discharge.
It is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet.
A deadly mistake, say many, at a terrible time, right in the midst of the trial in George Floyd's death. The National Guard and police surrounded the police station, a curfew imposed in Minneapolis and its suburb.
This anguish that we're all suffering cannot translate into violence.
But last night it did. Looting and confrontations outside Minneapolis, rising anger, which the local mayor tried today to soothe.
Our hearts are aching right now. We are in pain right now.
But the latest shooting lays bare again the tensions around police use of force. Dante Wright was a young father of a 2-year-old, an amazing son, said his mother.
He was my life. He was my son. And I can never get that back because of a mistake, because of an accident.
Community members want the police chief fired and the officer charged with murder.
What I witnessed was agitation, intimidation, irritation, and escalation.
All this as Felonious Floyd struggled to testify today about growing up with his older brother George.
He just was like a person that everybody loved around the community.
Tonight in Brooklyn Center, clouds of tear gas as police stand off against a crowd defying the curfew.
And Susan, it seems that the situation outside Minneapolis has been deteriorating tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that curfew did not deter the crowd from standing and protesting outside the headquarters in Brooklyn Center. That's about 15 kilometers out of Minneapolis. You know, lines of riot police and National Guard attempted to move that crowd back and tried to get them to go home. But a very tense scene there tonight, Adrian, and all this at a critical time for the Chauvin trial. The prosecution is expected to wrap its case tomorrow, and the defense will start calling its witnesses, but only for a couple of days. And the judge told the jury today to expect to begin considering their verdict early next week.
All right, senior correspondent Susan Ormiston in Washington tonight. Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
Help is on the way to the Caribbean island of St. Vincent after days of volcanic eruptions.
It's horrible. No water.
The La Soufriere volcano pumped out ash, reducing visibility and coating parts of the island. Today, a supply ship from Venezuela delivered water and medical personnel. Emergency management officials say at least 3,600 residents are currently in shelters. Tributes to Prince Philip continue to come in tonight from politicians and some of his closest family members, remembering his life of service to the Queen and his often colorful style.
Though I suspect, Mr. Speaker, that he might be embarrassed or even faintly exasperated to receive these tributes, he made this country a better place.
Parliament in the UK was recalled for this special session, with MPs holding a moment of silence for the Duke of Edinburgh, who died on Friday at the age of 99. And there were also tributes from politicians here in Canada.
I now invite honourable members to rise.
With MPs in Ottawa holding a moment of silence during question period. But the most personal tributes today came from Prince Philip's grandsons. In a statement, Prince William remembered his grandfather for his infectious sense of adventure, as well as his mischievous sense of humor. And Prince Harry praised his grandfather's service, adding he was master of the barbecue, legend of banter, and cheeky right till the end. A scaled-down service for Prince Philip will be held at Windsor Castle. I'll be hosting a live CBC News special of the funeral this Saturday, April the 17th, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. After months of near total lockdown, England began easing some of its restrictions today.
After 14 months of not going anywhere except funerals, it's a great plus. Yeah, very exciting.
Next on the Nationals, something approaching normal spring scenes after a dark winter. How they pulled this off. Plus, inside an Ontario ICU.
Put 8 patients on mechanical ventilators overnight.
The patients are younger and sicker, the strain on staff, physical and psychological. And later, we're on the ground in northern Iraq.
We are nothing. No one wants us. No one sees us.
The Yazidi people's message to Canada and the world. We're back in 2. Welcome back. After months under strict lockdowns, a small taste of normal life for people in England today, with easing of restrictions that brought crowds into the streets and onto patios. But as Renee Filipponi explains, there is a fear officials are banking too much on the country's rapid vaccine rollout.
Streets across England were bursting with people today, eager to break free of lockdown and take in some retail therapy. All but essential businesses here have been closed since early January. Pints were poured for the first time in months, though service is only allowed on patios. Some were eager, showing up at this pub 1 minute after midnight.
After 14 months of not going anywhere except funerals, it's a great plus. Yeah, very exciting.
There were also lines at barber shops and hair salons, along with gyms and zoos, all of which have taken a huge financial hit during lockdown.
We're an expensive business. It's about £1 million a month to feed the animals. So with no income coming in, that's been really, really tough.
The government is crediting the success of its vaccine program for today's freedom. 32 million people have had their first dose of either the Pfizer or AstraZeneca vaccine. But the jubilance comes at a time when many are still mourning. This memorial wall is painted with 150,000 hearts. Each marks a life lost to COVID in the UK. For this woman who lost her grandfather, there is unease about reopening.
I think people need to make sure that, they're taking other people into account and protecting themselves, make sure they're sanitising and, doing the social distancing.
Experts say the government is relying too heavily on the vaccine program, and if new variants take hold, another COVID spike is possible.
I think the government very much is thinking of these as some sort of a silver bullet strategy, whereas what they need to really be focusing on is a comprehensive public health measure where these can be a part.
People are clearly enjoying their new reality, but the government is urging them to behave responsibly. And if everything goes to plan, the next phase of reopening will happen in mid-May. That will mean indoor dining, at-home visits with friends, even the potential for international travel. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, London.
Seems like another world. Next, we're on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic during a critical moment.
Now, after a year, it's quite draining, and we're almost at our limit.
The third wave's toll on hospital staff and the sick. And later, the Yazidis search for justice after surviving a genocide. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Human pain is mounting like never before in the country's intensive care units. The numbers we showed you earlier don't really convey how that's wearing down patients and staff. So we asked Lauren Pelly to take us to the front lines at the Scarborough Health Network in Toronto for an intimate portrait of suffering and, crucially, endurance. Some of this is hard to watch.
A sign outside Eduardo Teodoro's hospital suite suggests the worst is over. But more than 2 months after contracting COVID-19, he's still in this Scarborough ICU. A place of hope and loss, reflecting the missteps and disparities beyond its four walls. Eduardo's wife Esther is one of the rare few outsiders allowed to visit, because she too was infected in January and recovered, while her husband's condition kept getting worse.
Ed, are you in pain? Huh? Ed?
A breathing tube means Eduardo can't answer her. All Esther can do now is quietly share his pain.
He's a good husband and he's a good father to my kids. It's not easy for my family.
If 75-year-old Eduardo survives this illness, his recovery could last for years. A new challenge for the couple who've been married for close to 4 decades after first meeting in the Philippines.
He was a nice guy. Yeah, he was a very nice guy. He fall in love with me, but still he loves my family, you know. Yeah, you'll be okay.
In this catastrophic third wave, their experience is now all too common. Today, this ICU wing is busy, but eerily quiet. Even this empty room where a patient recently passed away won't stay out of use for long.
So far in Wave 3, we've admitted 7 husband and wife couples. And I think it's a sign that the virus is getting into homes, affecting everybody, and because it's so much more powerful than the prior virus we're dealing with, more people from within that household are coming to hospital together. Everything looks okay for now, but those are lungs that are not going to get better anytime soon.
Medical Director of Critical Care, Dr. Martin Betts, leads this ICU team, which has faced high rates of COVID-19 admissions for months. One recent night is lodged in his memory.
I put 8 patients on mechanical ventilators overnight, and the hardest part of all of it was the conversations in those moments before you had to do so and seeing them say goodbye, because we know that they're going to be on a ventilator for some weeks in a medically induced coma, so we can provide effective ventilation, and we know probably half of them aren't going to survive.
Many of those falling ill here are essential workers, often people of color, and now younger than before.
This is very, very different.
Lorraine Pinto has been here for 23 years, helping extended families navigate their loved one's critical illness, but never quite like this.
Imagine someone, just like you and me, who were functioning fairly well, may have gone to a job in a factory, contracted COVID, we may be in their 40s or 50s, and their whole world is upside down.
Today, registered nurse Jose Pasion is wearing extra layers of PPE as he cares for a man in his 50s in an isolation room, while the team awaits the results of the patient's COVID-19 test.
We're seeing all walks of life now. The ages are actually coming even to the younger generation. So we're seeing even 20s, 30s. First, we didn't see that before.
So this patient, because of the duration that he suffered from his COVID illness.
Pasion and Betts often work side by side, and they're feeling the toll of caring for more and more patients in the prime of their lives.
The physical work we can get by, and we can be here, and we'll be here for our patients whenever. It's the emotional toll of seeing what they're going through and knowing what their families are going through that really weighs on us.
A 10-minute drive away at another busy hospital site in Scarborough, the gatekeepers of the emergency department say the level of illness and pain is reaching new heights.
Never seen anything like it. In fact, it's the worst we've seen since the pandemic started.
Dr. Norm Chu has been chief of emergency medicine here for close to a decade. Right now, he says roughly a quarter of all COVID-19 tests taken here are coming back positive.
Particularly in Scarborough, we've been disproportionately affected by COVID, a lot of multi-generational families, lots of factory workers, lots of essential workers.
The threat of the virus is on everyone's minds, as are the consequences. As Paula Clark spends her day cleaning patient rooms, wiping every surface with a towel soaked in bleach, memories of her late mother come to mind.
My mom died with COVID, so I have to make sure everything done properly. So I'll wipe these down.
It's a burden Clark carries while trying to keep others safe.
I go to the back.
But with bills to pay, she shows up, shift after tiring shift.
It's hard because I didn't get to see her, so, you know. Yeah, I saw her this Sunday on the video, and then she died in the evening.
As new patients keep on coming, Dr. Chu says many members of his team are close to hitting a wall and burning out.
Most of us work in the emergency department because we like the adrenaline, we like the fast-paced work. But now, after a year, it's quite draining, and we're almost at our limit.
From the emergency department back to the ICU, Dr. Betts wonders why the tragedy of the third wave wasn't prevented.
You know, if you go back to early February, I think the modeling data for these new variants was quite clear what could potentially happen, and unfortunately it's been realized.
Eventually, this pandemic will end, but few people here will be left untouched. Staff haunted by loss. Young lives forever changed.
I love you, Ed.
And families bonded by love and by a virus torn apart.
I love you.
So, Lauren, there's some really wrenching moments in there, and I suppose the first thing first, how is Ed?
Well, we caught up with the ICU staff, and Ed is still on a ventilator today. But his family remains hopeful that he'll be going home soon to see his wife, Esther, and their kids and their grandkids.
So in watching it, what I find sort of both interesting and worrying is that when we went into the ICU a few months ago, the anxiety then was that patients were younger, they were staying in the unit for longer, struggling for longer, and I'm wondering, how is that playing out now?
Well, in Ontario, part of the challenge is we started this wave with so many of those patients still from the second wave and even a handful from the first wave. So now we're sort of playing catch up here and dealing with all of these new challenges. What we heard from the ICU staff is that the patients entering the hospital today could still be there in June or July or even longer. So it's a tough road ahead. Adrian?
Okay, that is a worry. Lauren Pelly tonight. Thank you, Lauren. Still ahead, breaking down the latest science behind how COVID is transmitted, what the rise of variants means for risks outdoors. But first,
I will not forget that we were hungry and tired, and I remember that I can't walk.
We take you to northern Iraq, where the Yazidi people fear they've been forgotten. Nearly 7 years since the world first saw terrifying images of people fleeing their homes in northern Iraq, there's still no peace or justice for the Yazidi people. Thousands were killed, many more displaced during a genocidal campaign of violence waged by ISIS. And now, as part of our special coverage from the region, Margaret Evans and her team brings us this look at the ongoing search for the missing and the struggle to rebuild shattered lives.
For Sinjar, resurrection still awaits, and so too the return of the Yazidi people. Their trust is shattered as the buildings that once sheltered them. Almost 7 years after ISIS unleashed its genocidal wrath against the ethnic and religious minority, there is still no path home for many. Not for the dead in mass graves awaiting exhumation, not for the survivors still living in refugee camps. Even those who've come back talk of leaving. We have nothing left in our cities, says 38-year-old Nayef Mirza. No services, no job opportunities. He says he's not at the market to buy sheep. He's here because he has nothing else to do. Our message is for Canada, Australia, the Europeans to take us from Sinjar Mountain. We have no future as Yazidis in the Middle East. When ISIS swept through Yazidi heartland in northern Iraq in 2014, those who could fled to Mount Sinjar. Hundreds perished in harsh conditions, and in the lands around it, thousands of men were massacred and thousands of women and children abducted. The Iraqi parliament has passed a survivor's bill for Yazidi women, calling for compensation, but advocates fear it's lip service only. It's not just the lack of jobs and reconstruction in Sinjar, it's also the lack of security. Since ISIS was pushed out in 2015, other groups and militias have moved in, including the PKK, the Kurdistan Workers' Party. It was the PKK who helped provide an escape route for many people fleeing Sinjar into neighboring Syria. But the PKK is also blacklisted by Western governments and waging a guerrilla war against Turkey, making Sinjar a target. Baghdad and the Kurdish regional government signed a deal last October agreeing to push militias out, but it hasn't happened, and we were only allowed in with an Iraqi army escort. Of an estimated 400,000 Yazidis displaced, over half are still living in refugee camps, blanketing Iraqi Kurdistan, like this one near Zakho.
I remember everything. It's unforgettable. I will not forget that we were hungry and tired, and I remember that I can't walk. I was not able to walk, but I tried.
Lena Thero is now 21. Her family escaped ISIS via Mount Sinjar, but not what it left in its wake. The number of suicides amongst Yazidis in the camps, especially young women, is rising.
I feel if I am Yazidi, I am nothing, because we are nothing. No one wants us. We are ghosts. We are nothing. No one sees us.
Many Yazidis feel betrayed by the Peshmerga, the Kurdish soldiers who left them defenseless when they withdrew from areas around Sinjar as ISIS advanced, and by Arab neighbors they say did little to help them. Now they believe the world has forgotten them, and those still missing. Abdullah Shrem is still looking for the missing. A Yazidi businessman, he's already credited with rescuing 399 ISIS captives, children taken as fighters or slaves, women to be raped. He takes out his maps to show us how he did it. Syrian contacts advising him to make friends with cigarette smugglers, their trade already a death sentence if ISIS were to catch them. He got started by looking for 56 members of his own family. Eventually, he ran a network of informants in cities like Raqqa, controlled by ISIS. After the liberation, he says, our job became much harder because Yazidis are now spread out in other places where ISIS has escaped to. Youngsters may no longer remember who they are, and it takes money to pay smugglers or ransoms. The Kurdish government used to help, but not anymore. On top of that, the international community isn't aware of us, he says. And so far, the Iraqi government hasn't helped us either. He still carries hope, but not Lena, who wants to get as far away from the entire region as soon as possible. She's seen their old home in Sinjar.
I feel like my heart destroyed, not that house, and it was my childhood there. How I will live there again? It will not be rebuilt again.
A view you would never expect to see from the innocence of a school window. What was once a playground, now a burial ground. Almost all the men and boys from the village of Kojo were slaughtered by ISIS, the bodies of 103 buried here in February. Their names finally returned to them after DNA testing. Bajat Khalil was away working in Kurdistan when ISIS came. Now his world is defined by duty to the dead, guarding the graves of friends and relatives. Duty to the living is just as hard. The Yazidis can only stay here with international protection, he says, not Iraqi, because Muslims want to destroy us. The fear for so many Yazidis is that with all that has collapsed around them and all that they've lost, it is the indifference of a watching world that will finish what ISIS began, the shattering of a people now caught in a no-man's land between the living and the dead. Margaret Evans, CBC News, Sinjar.
Up next, what you need to know about the risks of COVID-19 transmission outdoors.
The evidence just keeps piling up in favor of the importance of aerosol transmission.
How variants of concern are changing what is safe and what's not. Welcome back. As the weather mercifully warms up, many people are heading outdoors to socialize. But with more transmissible variants of COVID-19 on the rise, how safe is that really? Christine Birak looks at what the science tells us.
You're still far less likely to catch this virus outdoors, but experts insist variants of concern appear to be raising the risk everywhere.
It's possible that there's now more virus in the air, or it's possible that it takes fewer of those viruses to make you sick.
Lindsay Marr is one of the world's top experts studying airborne transmission of viruses. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control recently confirmed something Marr predicted. The chances of getting infected by touching a surface is generally less than 1 in 10,000, meaning most people get this virus by breathing it in.
The evidence just keeps piling up in favor of the importance of aerosol transmission.
So this is like me breathing. As we're talking, It sort of represents my droplets.
And if you were to put that in front of your mouth.
Jeffrey Siegel studies air quality. He says fresh air is the best way to dilute a virus. But that meter is picking up aerosols, or tiny particles that could carry the virus.
You can really see how it's jumping around too, and that's the wind, right? That's the thing about outdoors. It changes in an instant.
Alberta recently reported outdoor infections. Similarly, a Chinese study documented the spread between two men talking face-to-face for at least 15 minutes. And a 40-person picnic in Ottawa last year led to 27 infections.
Just going outdoors, people should feel good about reducing the risk. But that doesn't mean that the risk goes to zero.
And while many worry about passing strangers,
like if you jog past someone, that's not going to transmit the virus.
Doctors say people we know pose bigger risks because we tend to get closer for longer periods of time.
In general, with more contagious variants, there is going to be less room for error if people are lax with the common sense recommendations.
Which is why, even outside, the best advice is to keep your distance or mask up. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Next, Prince Edward Island gets a very special shout-out.
It's Dolly Parton.
Why the country superstar is sending a message of thanks to Islanders. Dolly Parton is known for many things, including her charity Imagination Library. That's a program to send kids free books every month. And now, after a big push from the PEI Literacy Alliance and the province, more than 3,000 kids across the island are enrolled. So Dolly heard that news and decided to take a moment to show her appreciation. And that is our moment.
The Imagination Library is Dolly Parton's pet project. We now have, 3,300 kids on the island who are receiving a book free of charge in the mail every month. They can go to their mailboxes and they get their brand new book and it's addressed to them.
Hello, Islanders. I was just over the moon when I heard that Prince Edward Island now has a provincial-wide Imagination Library program.
Oh, this is really exciting. It's Dolly Parton.
Now, every child in PEI can receive the gift of a book each month. So, congratulations to PEI and everyone working to make this dream come true.
I think everybody in PEI is pretty excited. having someone of Dolly's magnitude see the value in having a province-wide program and the benefit that this gives to all these island children is just, it's just fantastic.
Okay, as if funding vaccines wasn't enough. Basically what's happening is that this Imagination Library is all across this country. There are maybe 7,000 kids in PEI eventually who may benefit from it. It's the whole community coming together, politicians, businesses, people. It's just what they do. That is the National for April the 12th. Good night.